Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
This is the Art Vigil Show.
Art Vigil. Welcome to the Art Vigil Show!
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
Undefeated out loud, baby. Everything is alright, baby. We on the road to riches, and you ain't getting no ride, baby.
What's up, David? How you doing?
I am doing well. Another weekend, another week of sports. Lots still going on in the sports world that we're going to talk about.
Yes, this is Family Affair Part 2.
Part
Not
two.
2. Bring a little French into to the sports talk.
Dumb and Dumber 2, T.O.
Exactly. So, did you get a chance to watch the finals of the World Baseball Classic?
I watched the highlights. I just put it this way. I'm not that big of a fan. I know the players like to represent their country, but I don't know. I mean, spring training, you got a couple dudes out for the season because of this. I mean, their countries really aren't paying them. You know, their teams are. So, I mean, it was a good story. Japan against the U.S. This sucks. The USA lost. We invented the game, but hey, whatever. The whole Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. That was a cool story, but I'm just not a big fan of the WBC.
So you don't see it like the World Cup or the Olympics or
No,
anything like that?
Don't we have the Olympics?
Yeah, baseball's in there, but it's not. Do the pros play Olympics?
No, it's amateurs, but it's still. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not a fan. Maybe, I mean, the World Cup soccer, that's different to me. That's grand stage. The WBC. I don't know. It just I wasn't really into it. I don't think I've ever. I don't think of it. I don't think I've ever been into it.
Yeah, this was the first time I was actually into it, and I thought it was pretty intriguing. Yeah, a couple players got hurt from the Mets, which I'm okay with, and Altuve from Houston, again, I'm okay with.
Totally cool with that.
Yeah, but overall,
yes, you didn't hear the garbage can in the background for the slider and it hit him in the hand.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But do you think this showed that Altuve is probably the best player in baseball right now, or maybe ever?
I mean, his play on the field during regular games shows that. I mean, the dude's been dominant since he's been in the bigs. As long as he's healthy. He got hurt a couple seasons ago. I mean, the guy's phenomenal. He's a pitcher who can hit with power and with average. I mean, there's how many baseball players in this era have there been? I can't think of anyone, and I'm thinking back in the Babe Ruth days, and there hasn't been many since then. So no, yeah, he's definitely one of the best players in baseball right now, for sure.
Well, even Babe Ruth stopped at 24, 25 years old when he went to the Yankees.
Yeah, exactly, and he just started eating hot dogs and hitting home runs,
and drinking and hooking up with whoever he could. But again, this is
living his best
all
life.
Rumors. Yeah, living his best life. There you go.
Allegedly.
All right, so I saw a report today that Zeke has 3 potential places that he's going to sign with.
Wouldn't it be awesome if it's the Eagles?
Yeah, but you know what? 3 times a running back from the Cowboys has left and went to the Eagles. Can you name them?
A Cowboy running back that went to the Eagles.
Yep.
Off the top of my head, no, I cannot.
Believe it or not, Herschel Walker was one, although he went to Minnesota first.
Yes.
DeMarco Murray was the second one, although he went directly to them, and then he went to the Titans, then he was out of the league. And the last one was Felix Jones.
But none of them had a 7-year career with Dallas. like Zeke has. So that's a big deal. And
Herschel was there. Herschel was there at least 7 years.
Oh, well,
No, let me think about it, because he went to the New Jersey Generals first. He went to the USFL.
right.
Yeah, he had to be there at least 5 years.
Okay. He's still beloved, but didn't go straight. The other two guys, I mean, they had one season, maybe two at the most, that where they, stood out. But
Right.
again, Zeke, 7 years, except last year when he's been hurt, he's been the top dog. He fell off real quick with the emergence of Tony Pollard. And realistically, he's going to have the same type running with the Eagles, because they picked up Rashard Penny, and he's going to be their starter, and he may get in the goal line, and that just may be his reserve role. I think he has a better chance going to the Jets and actually playing. If he goes, so the three teams, you can announce them, but it's the Eagles, Jets, and Bengals.
Yep.
Eagles and Bengals. I mean, he's going to be playing backup roles. The Jets, he's got a fighting chance, because I mean they got some young guys, but there's a dude coming off. What was it, Bryce Hall?
Bryce Hall,
yeah, tore his ACL.
Yep.
Michael Carter had a good season last year, but I mean he's got a good chance to play more there, I think, than the Eagles and the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, Mixon is the number one in Cincinnati, unless he goes to jail for shooting some kid, or his sister did, or whatever.
He's in trouble. He's in trouble again.
Yeah, you didn't hear about that? Yeah, there were some kids running through his backyard, or playing guns, or army or whatever, and
that is under attack.
Allegedly, his sister is the one that shot a couple of times, and I think hit the kid in the foot or something like that.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, but he's under contract till 2024, from what I read earlier. Or I think that was today. Maybe it was yesterday. I think he should go to the Bengals personally.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you have Mixon, who's the number one back. I mean, Zeke's not a number one back anymore. So no matter where he goes, he's going to be a third down back or a goal line
change of
running
pace.
Back. Yeah, exactly. Because he doesn't have the speed to break away like he used to. He needs an offensive line that's somewhat decent. He needs holes.
The Eagles have the best line in the league.
Yes. Well, yes, they do. I don't disagree with that.
Arguably the best line in the league.
There you go. You can that's debatable. But you know what? He went to Ohio State. The Bengals have a pretty good offensive line. Granted, towards the end of last year, they got hurt, Kappa and the other guy, which is why they lost to Kansas City, because if they had those guys, they would have beat Kansas City, but that's a different discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Great wide receivers, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Boyd. Top 5 defense. Granted, it's in the AFC and it's a harder road to the Super Bowl. But hey, I mean, he was born in Illinois, so he's kind of going home to that Midwest area. But who knows? I personally think
that does make sense. That makes sense.
I think he has a better chance of actually winning in Cincinnati than the Jets and the Eagles, because the Eagles are regressing. They've lost so many defensive players. They lost Miles.
Well, we're going to talk about that. We get to the rankings, but yeah.
Oh, that's right. But still, but they did lose some key players and
chips.
What's up?
Some chips. They lost some chips.
Exactly. So you say Jets, I say Bengals.
Jets.
No.
Jets.
Yeah, you said Jets.
Yep.
No, as a Dolphin fan, we say sucks. But anyway, that's a whole different discussion.
Historically, you guys have been correct.
Yes, that is true. All right. Did you see the Cam Newton video?
I saw a glimpse. I saw him throw 3 passes, and the second pass was behind the guy. He had to stop and catch it, but hey, he was able to throw it over 10 yards, which is nice.
Yeah.
I didn't see the full workout. I mean, he's got the saying, there's not 32 other quarterbacks that are better than him. I don't know about that. What'd you think of it?
I thought he was begging for a job, which is beneath him personally. I mean, he was a number one pick coming out of Auburn.
Yep.
He went to the Super Bowl. He was an MVP. I mean,
He was
if
a
you
stud
can't
in his
win,
prime.
yeah. I mean, you can't if you can't win with Belichick, or Belichick, excuse me.
Belichick.
That's what I've been calling him that for years. Mostly because
Careful, he could be recording you right now.
I'm sure there's a drone over my office right now. So to me, it looked a little desperate, and nobody likes, even chicks don't like a desperate guy.
Hey. It's done me well over the years.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
Yeah. That's funny. I'm trying to think who would be better. Who'd be worse than Cam Newton right now, starting quarterbacks?
I mean, you look at Tampa, and then they got Baker and the
Baker. Carolina has the Red Rocket.
Andy Dalton, yeah.
Yep.
Shit, the Jets don't have anybody yet, so
yeah, that's true. Well, they have Wilson technically, but yeah.
So I mean, I guess he could be right, but I mean, that's before the draft. That's before free agency ends. So when all the chips are in play, I don't think there's a quarterback, NFL quarterback, or I mean, for a starting role, I don't see it out there. Maybe a backup. Not even that. I don't know. I don't know who would take a chance. How old is he now? He's got to be in his mid-30s.
I think he's like 33 or 34.
Yeah. But I mean, in today's NFL, but he used to be a running quarterback. He can't be doing that. You get popped and you're done. So today's NFL, where you can't really sack the quarterback, maybe he's got a chance, but it's got to be an injury. Someone gets hurt. They need someone, practice squad. He may turn into the next, I don't think this guy was ever on Cam's level, but Josh Johnson, that dude I mean, he's going to play for all 32 teams before his career's done.
Right.
He continually gets picked, gets on the practice squad, and then eventually ends up in the game. So, I mean, is Cam better than Josh Johnson? Yeah, I think so. So could he be on a practice squad somewhere? Probably, but I don't think Cam will take that.
Do you think he can be a backup?
With an injury, I mean, yeah. I mean, look at Tampa. Tampa would be a good place for them just to kick the tires, bring him to training camp, see what any juice left in those legs and that arm. And I mean, worst case, he's a 1-year deal, no money guaranteed, and just he doesn't make training camp, doesn't make the team.
I think there's 2 spots where he can come in as a backup, maybe a third quarterback. Or maybe even
Niners should probably look at him.
Well, yeah, they should be looking at everybody. I mean, they looked at Roethlisberger. They might as well look at
I know.
Cam Newton.
I heard a joke. What was the joke? Who was the Odell Beckham? He had his workout, and they said, they named off the teams the Niners are there. So yeah, the Niners are there. They were scoping the quarterback throwing the ball.
That's funny. So, like I said, I think there's 2 places he can play, maybe even like a fullback role. Miami, because of Tua's concussions. Even last year when he was playing, where they're doing quarterback sneaks in the middle of the field as well as on the goal line, basically one of our tight ends were going through it. They wouldn't let him. And the other one is Kansas City Chiefs. Chad Henne retired. If anybody can make a quarterback look good, that would be Andy Reid. And another reason they don't let Mahomes do quarterback sneaks anywhere, because when he did it once and got hurt his kneecap, I think it was. And so if he wants to be on an NFL team and he's willing to be that role player, I think those are the 2 best spots for him.
You say so they want him. You think he should become a crash test dummy? It sounds like he takes runs the pistol.
Yeah, exactly. Run the Wildcat. Why not?
The Wildcat. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I just thought of this one. The other one's Arizona. Who the hell's their quarterback?
Kyler Murray, who's everybody's turning on.
Well, he's hurt. He won't be back. Yeah.
And their backup is
Colt McCoy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I like Colt McCoy personally because I watched him play at Texas. But I would think Cam Newton's better.
They need an upgrade. Yeah, it's an upgrade. But again, you got the draft. We're still waiting for. You never know. Arizona can draft a quarterback. A deep second, third rounder, just to put spark a fire and get some depth in their room.
Yeah, I mean,
because you got the new coach. He's got no really attachment to Kyler. So he's already said, yeah, he's doing the normal coach stuff. Yeah, I back him. I'm 100,000% behind him. But you never know. He can come in and say, you know what, we're going to go in a different direction. But I don't know if they can get anything value-wise based on all the stories that we're hearing come out of Glendale.
I would say there's 160 million reasons why he's going to be there.
So, how much is that
guaranteed? I think 100. I think either 160 or 130 if it's guaranteed, and that hasn't even
it'll be 160 if he
he's still
stops playing video games and oh, never mind. Yeah, they got to get it. They have to get him back on track.
Yeah, exactly. But for the short term, he could go there, play probably 10 games, 11 games, show his worth if he plays well. I know he did that in Carolina, and he had a really good first game, and then he got benched for PJ
Walker.
PJ Walker, yeah. So that wasn't a good look.
No.
But I think honestly, if he's willing to take that fullback / short
yard specialist,
short yard specialist. I would love to have him. I would love to have him in Miami. I would. I mean, we have Skylar Thompson and Mike White that we got from the Jets, and I'm so disappointed that he's our backup. But that's a whole different discussion. But I don't want Tua going forward and getting his head hit while he's trying to get 1 yard.
No, you don't want Tua to get touched anymore. You got to put that guy in bubble wrap, man. He gets hit, falls down, and then next thing you know, he's out.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's a great next. We can move on to the next topic. You wanted to talk about in March, mind you, in March.
We're talking power rankings, baby.
Exactly. Talking power rankings in March, which I think is hilarious personally. But do you
That's
have
what
your
fans
own,
do. That's what fans do.
I agree. Do you have your own list of top 10?
No, I got a list off the site I go to. I just want to see if you agree with what they're saying. I'll give you the top 3, and then we can discuss it. So, the Super Bowl champs, reigning Super Bowl champs, KC Chiefs are number 1. You got Philly, the Super Bowl losers, number 2, and you got this your team, the team you're talking about, the Cincinnati Bengals at number 3. We'll go 4 because my Niners are number 4, and this is after free agency and the pickups.
All right. Well, let's see here. We'll start with the top. It's hard to disagree with Kansas City Chiefs being the Super Bowl champions and with Pat Mahomes being there. Granted, they lost a lot of wide receivers. The defensive line, Chris Ford, I believe they've either released him or they're not re-signing him. So their defense is going to not as good, but does it really matter in 2023 football? It's basically Madden football anyway. So I agree with Kansas City Chiefs being number 1 today in March.
They got the Niners. There's Charles Aminu. He's the defensive tackle the Niners let go. They signed him.
Oh, did that? Okay, I missed that.
Yep.
All right, so my number 2 would be the Cincinnati Bengals.
You'd move them up. That's not bad because you're right. According to this here, Philly's lost Javon Hargrave, Niner. Yay. Miles Sanders gone. TJ Edwards gone. And then they C.J. Gardner-Johnson, their cornerback, he's over at Detroit Lions, and he's already talking smack that the Detroit Lions have a better roster than the Eagles.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. And they lost both their offensive coordinator and their defensive coordinator to head coaching jobs. So we have to see if Nick Sirianni is actually a leader of men / head coach. But again, I think Cincinnati Bengals, you have Burrow, who I believe is 1B in quarterback in the NFL right now. They have a decent offensive line. Again, they got hurt towards the end of the year last year, or even in the playoffs, which sucks because they would have beat Kansas City. They have stars, weapons all over the place on the offense. Their defense is top 5, 6 in the NFL and number 1 in the second half of games. So that's why I would put the number 2. Number 3, reluctantly, because they went to the Super Bowl, although they've lost a lot of players, and you outlined that quite well, I would put the Eagles. Number 4, I would put the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Whoa! Really?
Yes.
That's a shocker.
I've been a huge fan of Trevor Lawrence since he kicked the shit out of Alabama in the national championship. He had a really bad first year with Urban Meyer, who's a piece of, he's not a good NFL head coach. I'm sure he's obviously a great college coach and a decent commentator on college. But he has Doug Peterson as, again, Super Bowl coach. He has weapons all over the offense. He has, I think Trevor Lawrence will be the MVP next year in the NFL. Matter of fact, I'm putting future bets on it. And again, this is for entertainment purposes only. Don't take my advice. That's what I'm going to do.
Consult your own bookie.
Exactly. So I have the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 3.
Wow. That's breaking news
4.
right there, man.
Exactly.
4?
4, sorry.
Holy, that's a shocker. They're not
What are you
even
talking about?
the
They
top.
got to the AFC Championship. Or no, they got to the divisional round.
Yeah.
In their first season. And then they were losing to the Chargers 27-0.
And they
in
came
the first
back.
half, they came back and won the game.
That says a lot about the Chargers.
Well, no, that says a ton about the Chargers, but that's not the point. This is going to be a second year in the offense. They're bringing in more offensive weapons. They're shoring up the offensive line. Yeah, they did. So I think they're going to win the division.
They're going to be good. The AFC South. Who do you got in the AFC South? You got Jacksonville,
Houston, Jacksonville, Colts,
Tennessee,
and Tennessee.
Colts. Those 3 teams are regressing. So winning the AFC South, you can win that at 8-8 or 7-9. I think next year. But yeah, didn't Jacksonville start off like 1-4 last year and then just turned it on in the second half?
Yeah, they were getting used to each other. Brand new system. Again, a second-year quarterback. Finally has a quarterback whisperer. He got Carson Wentz, almost an MVP as a head coach.
That's why Carson Wentz is still floating around the NFL. That one season in Philly.
All that potential.
Yep.
All right, so let me see. Who do you have after that?
So at 5, we got the Buffalo Bills, who everyone keeps raving about, but hasn't really won anything yet. And then at number 6, you got the Miami Dolphins.
All righty, so my 5 and 6, we'll start with 5, obviously. The San Francisco 49ers.
Good choice.
Great defense. My concern is no quarterback, but it doesn't seem to matter. You have Purdy, you have
Trey Lance?
Yeah, I don't know much. I've literally watched probably 3 hours of football of Trey Lance, and he has not looked good.
That's all he's played.
exactly. So I don't go to the practices. I didn't see him in college.
No one did. He took this. What is this? The whole year off, and then he got drafted 3rd overall by the Niners.
Exactly. So again, no quarterback to me. If they were reaching out to Ben Roethlisberger, that tells me there's a problem.
Yeah, that's a reach. That is a big reach.
And I know everybody thinks Shanahan is one of those great young coaches. I just have a feeling with the Niners, he's not going to fulfill the dream of winning a Super Bowl.
He's not going to get the quest for 6. Huh?
I don't think he is. I think
Why
he will get. Well, I mean, he was in a Super Bowl. They were winning by 10 with one of the best defense.
28-3. Let's go back to Atlanta. He was the offensive coordinator.
Well,
28-3.
That's true too. I didn't want to go that far back. I wanted to keep it together just since we're talking about the Niners. But yes, he was but the only difference is when he's the offensive coordinator, not the head coach. That was Quinn. That was the head coach. But my guess is he was running the offense and Quinn was more of a, yeah, that's a good play. Or maybe not even saying anything. I don't know. But as a head coach, or even, we'll say coordinator, as a leader, he doesn't seem to come through when it matters.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying because again, if the Niners let him go, he'll have less than 24 hours and he'll have a job. He'll probably be coaching the Jets. So that's one reason. And then you also lost, I know you guys have a great defense, but what's his name? DeMarco, he's gone.
DeMarco Ryan, yeah.
He's the head coach of the Texans. So, but I still have him at 5.
With question marks. 5 with the question mark.
Yes, absolutely. Their defense keeps them. I mean, and their offensive weapons are incredible as long as they're playing and not hurt. But that's a different discussion.
And earlier you said the Jacksonville Jaguars have the best second half defense. I don't know. The Niners last year.
I said Cincinnati. I said Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Best second. Yeah. They went like 5 or 6 games where nobody scored points in the second half. Or maybe nobody scored touchdowns in the second half.
I think the Niners had the lowest amount of points scored in the second half. I know that after the teams played the Niners, the first time I think in NFL history, every team that played the Niners the next week lost.
I believe I remember reading that as well. All righty. So my number 6 would be the Miami Dolphins.
Shocker there.
No, I could have put him at 2, maybe 3.
I think you should have put him. We were going to put him at 1.
No, come on. I'm objective. I've always been that way. You know that. Anyway, great weapons on offense. Offensive line needs a right guard and a right tackle and a left guard. We can shore that up. That'll be great, either through draft or free agency. Our head coach showed some signs of brilliance. Again, he's from that Shanahan tree as well. He was really bad on 3rd down, but I think he'll learn. We got a great new defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio.
Yeah,
maybe not the best head coach in Denver, but always had great defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Our defense is top 10. I think it'll get better because of Vic. My biggest hang-up of them not moving them further up is Tua.
Mm-hmm.
If Tua's playing and he's protected, we can win. They're a contender for the Super Bowl. If he's not, we're in the first 5 to 10 and hopefully getting a really good quarterback in next year's draft because there's quite a few of them that are going to be good.
Yeah, no, Tua, this dude just can't stay upright, man. I don't know. Maybe it's his size or his playing, how he plays, but they got to keep this guy healthy and keep those head hits to the minimum, man. That's pretty scary what happened to him. 2 concussions and the falling down on the field after one of the concussions. That's some real life stuff right there.
Well, there's an old saying by Nick Saban, who, by the way, I still hate because he ruined the Dolphins back in 2008 or 12, whatever it was. He said that Tua thinks he's more athletic than he really is. When he's outside the pocket, he thinks he's Michael Vick. And well, he didn't say that, but that's just what that's what I'm kind of going with.
You're paraphrasing, yeah.
There you go, paraphrasing. And the other thing is, since he hurt his hip, and that was a horrific hip injury. I mean, Bo Jackson had that same hip injury and never played football again.
No.
He doesn't want to fall back on that hip. So when he gets tackled, and if you go back and look at it, he kind of jumps back off his toes to land on the other side of on his other hip or on his back shoulders. So when you do that, your head naturally falls back and you're going to hit your head on the freaking turf, which is why he's taking jiu-jitsu to learn how to fall again. So again, I really hope he stays healthy and plays well. They did pick up his 5th-year option, which is another $23 million. If he gets hurt, it's guaranteed. That means in 4 years, he's made almost $52 million in 4 years, 5 years. I could retire on that. I can say, hey, I gave him my best. I couldn't make it. Body wasn't meant to be hit that hard. And I'm going to go to Hawaii and I'll get a foundation. I mean, he'll be fine is my point.
Oh yeah. I mean, if most first round draft picks in the NFL are going to be fine. But yeah, I mean, so they only picked up his 5th-year option, so there's no long-term deal. So he's basically on a 1-year, we'll see, contract this year.
No, this is year 4.
Oh, so he's got 2 years.
2024. Yes, 2 years. Correct.
Got it. He's got 2 years to prove it, or off to Hawaii you go.
Right. Or again, if he's playing well, but he's injured, he doesn't finish the whole season, they have the franchise tag. So there's a lot of options with Tua. Again, I hope he's healthy for his own sake. I hope he plays well. But all right. So that's my number 6. Where are we going next?
Number 7 and 8. This one, 7, is the Dallas Cowboys. And number 8 is the Los Angeles. The Chargers. I'm a fan of. I just forgot his name. The quarterback for the Chargers, Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
but the dude throws for 8,000 yards, but they give up 50 points. It's just the weirdest thing. They pick up players. I mean, they got Mac from Chicago last year, and they just can't put it together. I don't know if it's the coaching or what it is, but I always have high hopes coming in the season for the Chargers, and they tend to disappoint.
That sounds like every San Diego / LA Charger fan ever. They've always had all kinds of talent, from Dan Fouts to the coach Don Coryell, to just incredible players. But for some reason, they don't ever get through and win. Last year, I can say they did have some injuries, quite a bit of injuries, to be fair. But you should never lose a game winning 27-0. So back to my pick. So let's see, we're on 7-8.
Mm-hmm.
I have 7, the Dallas Cowboys as well. I think they've done pretty well in free agency. I like the pickup from Cooks, although that guy, I swear, he must have a really bad attitude because he's been on 6 teams in 8 years or 9 years. He's been on the Rams, been on the Patriots, he's been on the Saints, Houston, and now the Cowboys. I might even missed a team, but but he is a talented guy. He'll go. I think CeeDee Lamb's quick, but he's not Cook's quick. So CeeDee won't be able to be one-on-one basically. So I think that's a great thing. Again, I'm not sure about his head coach, Mike McCarthy. They just lost their offensive coordinator. Basically, they fired him, I believe, or they didn't.
The quarterback, the old Dallas Cowboys quarterback, they fired him.
Kevin
that's right.
or Kellen or something like that.
Kellen Moore,
yeah, from Boise State. Yep, the lefty. So he's now with the Chargers.
That's right. Yeah.
I like the fact that Zeke's gone. They finally said, "Hey, we got to move on from this guy." Pollard, although he's coming back from an injury, signed his basically his tender of $10 million. He's a very dynamic, quick running back. They're going to have to pick up another running back either in free agency and or in the draft. Offensive line still solid, but getting old. Again, the question is Dak Prescott. They should have beaten the Niners in that divisional playoff. But what happened? Dak Prescott. 3 interceptions. You can't do that. You just can't. So I have them there at 7 because of what they've done over the offseason, and their defense is solid. Quinn's still there, so they're going to be fine. They picked up Stephen Gilmore. I know he's a little older, but now you have Diggs and Gilmore on the outside. That's pretty solid, especially in the NFC. All right, number 8, the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh, the fall to grace from 5 to 8. Okay.
Yeah, they've lost a lot of players. They can't spend any money because Von Miller took up basically their salary cap. They're cutting players. The only reason, they have Diggs. According to reports, he's not happy. They lost a couple other wide receivers. They lost Singletary. I think they lost both their running backs. So I have them at 8 because of Josh Allen. He was 84 or 87% of their offense last year. If he goes down, if he goes down, they are in the top 5 picks.
Oh, they're going to be
in the draft.
So he's got to stay upright and healthy, but he likes to move around too and run. Maybe they don't need a running back. They just have Josh Allen run for 800 yards and throw for 4,000 yards.
Yeah, who reminds me of that? Oh, the guy that was in Auburn in a pro day. Oh, Cam Newton.
Cam Newton, yeah.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Look at history. You're a big man. But even big men get hurt if you keep getting hit.
Yeah, there's some big men all over that NFL field. So, and getting hit, it hurts, and you can break things. You get 100% injury rate in the NFL. So he's got to stay upright, but he does love to run around, does love to scramble, pick up yards with his legs. So, but yeah, they definitely want to keep him upright and healthy. Because I agree with you, man. I like I said earlier, they're picked at 5, but I don't think they should be that high right now. I think Buffalo, solid, but there's other teams that are picking up other free agents that just look better right now on paper. But that's why what did Herm Edwards say? We play to win the game. So I agree with you on the 8 for Buffalo.
All right, who do you have at 9 and 10?
9 is this one's gonna set you off. The New York Jets.
Sucks. No.
Yeah, no. I agree with you with that. And then 10 is Minnesota.
No.
Minnesota, the Vikings. I don't know, man. Something about that team that maybe it's their defense, or they win games, but it's just you watch them, you're like, they shouldn't be winning this game.
Nobody wins 11. Well, actually, they did. First team ever to win 11 games within one score. They're not going to do that next year. I don't care if they bring in Brian Flores, who they did as a defensive coordinator. They have Kirk Cousins. They said, Jefferson. They still have Cook for now. Yeah. They got, and Thielen's gone. They have the old Detroit Lions. They traded the tight end. I forget his name. Not Hockley, but Hodgson or something.
Hawkinson, yeah.
Hawkinson, there you go.
Yeah.
So no. So the Jets and Vikings, they're not in my top 10. The next one, the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I like Detroit too.
Yeah.
I like Detroit.
Dan Campbell was an interim coach for the Miami Dolphins many years back. The Dolphins won 2 games straight, and then they fell off a cliff. But he seems to be a leader of men. People want to go there and play for him.
Yeah. It's the underdog story, man. Detroit hasn't done anything ever, and you go and you make it a team that's competitive and can compete and win. It's a big deal for that city too. Yeah. And I don't think if you ever watched, I'm sure you watched his presser when he got hired, right?
Yeah,
this
whole we're gonna eat knees and stuff.
yeah, they're gonna get knocked down and start chomping on knees.
Yeah,
he's the right guy for the job. Yeah, but their defense was rough. But I mean, they're getting, they got the guy from Philly, Gardner Johnson, and they got in a corner. They got my guy Emmanuel Mosley and Cameron Sutton from Denver as corners. So they're getting better.
Yeah, no, they were 28th in defense last year. They can technically they could get worse. There's 32 teams slightly. But again, you have Goff, he got roasted with that trade. Oh, he's overpaid, he sucks, blah, blah, blah. He played really well last year. Yep. They have all kinds of talent, offensive talent on the team. Their problem last year was defense.
Yep.
So that's why I have them number 9. And number 10, this is kind of a wild card, but I'm going with the New Orleans Saints.
More wild card in the Jacksonville Jaguars at 6?
No, that's true. Well, I mean, most people have them, 13 or 15?
11, yeah. I mean, just right outside the top 10, yeah.
Right.
But the Saints, huh? You think Derek Carr is going to turn them around, huh?
Yes, I do. I mean, Derek Carr's never had our top 5 defense in his whole NFL career.
He has for the Raiders.
Exactly. Carr's probably the 2nd or 3rd best quarterback in the NFC, which again, he's playing in the NFC. My only concern is Dennis Allen, the head coach. He's a defensive coach. He wasn't a very good coach when he originally drafted Carr when he was the head coach for the Raiders.
Oh, they were terrible back then.
Yes, exactly. So that's my concern. I don't know who the offensive coordinator is. I meant to look it up. Oh wait, never mind. Never mind. I was preparing for another podcast and I looked up his name, and he's been with the Saints for a long time. And he's
Pete Carmichael Jr.
Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's it.
Pete Carmichael Jr.
Look at his resume when you get a chance. It's not very exciting.
He's just been with the team a long time. 15 years, it looks like. 15.
Exactly.
This is his 15th season. And he's a Saints coordinator after tutoring the quarterbacks in his first 3 years with the club. Okay, what does that mean?
I have no idea. All right, good.
So they really don't even know what kind of offense he's going to run. Was he the offensive coordinator last year?
He was, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he had Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, and Ian Book from Notre Dame, who's actually is from either Folsom or El Dorado Hills.
Is he on the roster? Going to be on the roster this year?
Maybe as a practice squad. I don't know.
Yeah. But don't forget, you got Alvin Kamara. He's got legal trouble too. He got that fight at the Pro Bowl last year in Vegas. That's finally moving forward. So
yeah, he'll be all right.
You think he's going to throw some money and walk?
Well, they'll go through the process, but I'm sure there'll be a fall guy, as
Chris Carter.
Chris Carter said, yeah. You always got to have a fall guy.
But unfortunately for Alvin and for Chris, it's on they got it on film. Him punching the dude. So we'll see.
He had that idea of fall guy before there was camera phones and cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
And thank God for Ray Lewis too, because I'm pretty sure he would have been in jail too. Anyway,
Yeah.
Anyway,
We
all right.
digress.
We digress. Who do you have 11 through 15?
I got 11, and again, this is not my top 15. This is just what I'm reading here. The Jags, your favorite. In 12, the Seahawks. In 13, the New York Giants.
Okay, those are good.
Yeah, I like that too.
I mean, I have Jacksonville higher, so I would say the Seahawks, the Jets, the Chargers. I know Brian Daboll has made Danny not dimes anymore, Danny dollars, because he just got a 140 million or 70 something million guaranteed, which is I think one of the worst contracts ever, but that's a different discussion. They're all, to me, you can throw the Broncos in there. I still think they're overrated. Sean Payton's a great coach. Russell Wilson is done. But I know they've gotten some offensive linemen to help. The young running backs coming back, Williams. So Sean Payton is a great coach. So I would throw those guys in that general area. But overall, I'm pretty happy with my top 10.
It's solid. I guess. It's March 23rd.
Right.
I mean, baseball season hasn't even started yet. But the Jaguars, the Jags.
It's
they're
hard.
young.
It's hard to fathom. I understand, but in 1 year under Doug Peterson,
yeah,
won the division and won a playoff game, being down 27-0, and gave Kansas City Chiefs a run for their money. So, I mean, unless there's lots of injuries, I don't see them getting
regressing.
Worse. Yeah, regressing. Okay. Now, should they be at number 4? No, maybe. I think so, on potential in March of 2023. But they're definitely a top 10. I think at worst they're 7. And if I move everybody up from 7, that means the Niners are 4, Dolphins are 5, Cowboys are 6. Okay,
yeah, that's a fair assessment.
Right. But based on potential and what they have, their roster and their coach, I don't see why they can't be a top 5 team. I don't see why Trevor Lawrence can't be the MVP next year.
I think Sunshine's going to do it, huh?
I will be putting my money where my mouth is. I'm taking that future.
And here comes the disclosure. Please, please, please talk to your own bookie about the bet.
The podcast is for entertainment purposes only, people.
I'm wrong. You cannot come after me.
Correct. That's absolutely right. All righty, man. I love that we get together and talk about this. We'll do another one next week. We'll do.
Oh man, I'm roaring. You want to cut it off?
Oh, we can keep going. Do you have other topics?
Let's see. What else are we going to talk about? Talked about the World Baseball Classic. Not a fan.
We're going on 49 minutes, believe it or not.
49 fun minutes. Well, we talked about quarterbacks, Cam Newton, top 10. Which team is winning the NFL free agency game? That's a great question. I'd love to hear what you think about that. What team's winning the free agency game?
I've done a little bit of research, and right now I think Houston is.
Yeah, well, they got the most cap space, so.
Yeah, and I would go Houston and Chicago Bears.
Ooh, the Bears. Okay.
Yeah. They've done. Well, and both of those guys have a ton of cap room.
Yeah, I think Houston's going to surprise some people this year.
They
can't go nowhere but up. I mean, they were terrible, but DeMarco, he has good culture, and they have a ton of cap space. They're signing people, draft capital. They have 2 first rounders, right?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, just like your Jags. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near the top 10, but I think they're going to surprise a couple of people. Maybe win a couple of games.
I don't think they'll be top 10, but
oh god, no.
They're going to win more. They won 2-3 games last year, maybe 4. No, they couldn't have. Anyway, I think they'll win 5 or more games.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, man. That was good. Yeah, we can call it if you like.
Yeah, I mean, we're going on to our most podcasts, especially independent ones. Excuse me. Go about 20 to 25. So, but we can.
Well,
Yeah,
folks,
I mean, yeah.
No, the folks we give them extra.
That's funny.
That's why you come to this podcast, because we're going to give you more.
All I see is money, 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 money. Yeah. All I see is money, money.